There's huge news out of OpenAI, structural news. We're not talking about models. We're not talking about Sora or advanced voice mode, although that is coming out too. More stuff, Jaden. Jaden and I were plotting this episode and being like, where do we stop the episode? Because we could be going on for an hour. But Jaden, a few things I want your comment on. Mira Murati, who is one of the originals, one of the original four at OpenAI. She's been the CTO. She was president or CEO, I don't know which one, for a day, basically, when the whole Sam Altman ousting went down. Has just announced that she is leaving. Sam Altman replied right away, being like, "You're awesome, blah, blah, blah." Our friend Logan, who has some insight into OpenAI because he was there for so long, he's like, "Look, there's no scandal here." I think, especially after Ilya Sutskever and others left, this may just be like, hey, I have like a lot of ability to go do stuff on my own now, which would totally make sense. But on top of that, there's also coincidental or not, Jaden, you tell me, Reuters has been reporting that OpenAI may become a for-profit company, which would make Sam Altman a very, very rich man. We're in the midst of a lot of stuff happening with OpenAI. Sam Altman's blog post. Jaden, I could talk for another 25 minutes. What's interesting to you about all this?
I know, it's just like there's like so much happening all at once that it's pure insanity. I guess like starting at kind of the beginning of the story, we're having all of these executives leave at the same time as big things have just come out. And, Sam Altman in his post about this said like, look, Miria wanted to leave when OpenAI was on an upswing. I'm assuming that means like has just released a really cool new model. So that makes sense. Doesn't feel like she's like leaving. And maybe at first I was like, oh, maybe she's just doing that for her own like career, but maybe she's also just doing that like out of kindness to not be like, oh, look, OpenAI hasn't shipped anything in a long time and now their executives leaving. And I bet the whole company's burning, right? Like maybe she didn't want that perception. Like, oh, look, they put out something really cool, their new voice thing, and now she's leaving. So maybe that was a cool move from her. What was interesting to me is that Sam Altman's like, I just learned from Miria this morning, aka like she did not give him warning. It was just like, okay, I'm out. Apparently, according to him, according to her, she did that because anything sooner or anything else would have been leaked, and OpenAI is just trying to not be super leaky. So I mean, that's a good story, but it is just very, very fascinating, especially with the timing of taking the company private. Not being a for-profit company anymore, being or not private, but becoming a for-profit instead of a non-profit company, and Sam Altman getting equity, which I think the one thing that's very interesting about that story that a lot of people are pointing out is if you'll remember the congressional testimony that Sam Altman gave back in the day when he's getting grilled in front of Congress. They're like, why are you doing this? Like, how much money are you making? He's like, I'm not making like any money, Senator. Like, I'm just doing this because I love it. I have no equity and I make no money from it. It's like, all right, well, you're about to make like some number of billions of dollars. So wouldn't say no money. But anyways, really curious to see where that goes. Of course, there's all the drama with Elon Musk giving them money and all the other people as a nonprofit and now becoming a for-profit, like completely the legality and everyone else I'm sure is going to have more opinions on that. But absolutely fascinating time in AI. Regardless of all the drama and all of that, I think the big story for me is still just the technology of the new voice model. Don't know if you've tested it out, but it is pretty phenomenal.
It's again, this is why we need hours for this. Couple of things there, right? So first of all, everybody who leaves OpenAI, especially at that level, is going to go out and start another $1 billion thing. We know that already. I don't know if to read into that or not. I do think that what you struck on just there for a second on the safety thing is actually pretty huge. And again, Reuters had this phenomenal exclusive on all this. But yeah, he went in front of Congress and he's like, I'm not making any money. I don't profit from this. So now what do you have, right? So now all of a sudden you have OpenAI, which has had all its safety people leave, right? Sutskever, Jan Leaky, everybody like that has now left. Some of them saying it's not as safe as it should be. Some of them saying like, no, it's safe, but blah, blah, blah. So, by the way, we are still huge OpenAI shills. We love OpenAI, obviously, but this is the perception, right? So it's perceived as not necessarily less safe, but much less safe than competitors, right? So you have that. At the same time, you're saying that, well, at least it's still a nonprofit, and you still have these safeguards in place, and those safeguards are now officially leaving. They've been trying to change this nonprofit status ever since it blew up in their face back when Helen Toner and Tasha McCauley sort of like essentially made the almost unilateral or bilateral decision, I guess, to oust Sam Altman. It wasn't just on them. I'm not trying to put it just on them, but they were two big voices. And look, that was how they saw it. They were put in that position of power. Good on them, right? I mean, like I didn't agree with it, but but more power to them, right? That was their position. So now you have everybody going over to Anthropic, and now you have Ilya Sutskever talking about, I think, safe superintelligence, it's called, right? And Ilya Sutskever being the former chief scientist over at OpenAI and one of the co-founders. Now, all of a sudden, you have competitors who are super, super safe. OpenAI appearing less safe, OpenAI becoming for profit. Have they just gotten too big to fail? I don't know. They're huge. We still love them. On to advanced voice mode. Advanced voice mode, I think, is going to be huge, because if you can start having a conversation like this, like you and I are having with a machine, it's going to be game changing. Guys, I urge you to go back and watch the movie Her. I know you've seen, I saw it a few years ago. It was awesome. No. Go back and watch it now. Now that you've actually seen what AI is, it is unbelievable. It is going to change everything, because you can fall in love with these things. Voice mode is going to be everything. Oh, Jaden is now sharing his screen. Jaden, tell us what you have on your screen. I saw you did this before. It's funny.
I just had to share a meme I shared on LinkedIn, which was awesome. And it's like the superhero sweating with the two big red buttons to push. And one of them, and I said it's Sam Altman right now, but one of them says 0% of a nonprofit and 7% of $150 billion for profit. And it's Sam Altman sweating over deciding which one to push. Anyways, it's kind of funny. Okay, I wanted to put one last piece of commentary on that story. And that is that I've heard a very good argument for why this could be happening. Now, when I say good argument, I think the best argument is that Sam Altman can make a lot of money from this. So yeah, that's probably the best argument. But a good argument that I've heard is, in order to adequately compete with some of the really big players like Google, this being a for-profit company and just being able to go and IPO and raise money and not having a cap on the profits from your thing is more attractive to investors, and maybe they can better compete with Google and other things. Specifically right now that Google is obviously makes an insane amount of money, but also Google is like, finally, I feel like Google is alive. Google is shipping. We talk crap on Apple a lot. Apple, I don't feel like, is quite alive in the same way. Google, we used to do this too, where you're like, oh man, what's going on with Google? No more. Google is absolutely blown away every single day. Our friend Logan Kilpatrick over there is shipping like his life depends on it, and is, I think, just like the whole company really seems to have taken a very hard push on a lot of things. And I'm not saying this because I'm some like Google shill. Like, try out their Gemini as someone developing AI technology and AI software that integrates with AI. I am blown away by some of the things they're doing. 1 million token context windows, like insanity. So yeah, I think some people are saying that essentially this switch is needed to better compete with them.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any question. And just, I mean, pivoting all around, this is a crazy episode. But like, even on Google, like Google is kind of getting a bad rap, I think, from the information on the developer side, which is what Logan sort of like runs. That is going away, folks. I mean, like, the power of the models, the small models are shipping, everything else, it's just coming out like crazy. I'm telling you, like, and Google also, I don't have to tell anybody out there, has the distribution. Like, they are going to be just fine. Like, all they have to do is get, Gemini really integrated into Workspace. And I know we say it kind of is. It is and it isn't. I mean, like, it's pretty good, but like, how it goes through emails and things like that, it's pretty good, but it is going to get better. Folks, remember, this is the worst AI will ever be. If you are doing any kind of strategic planning, any kind of planning for your own future, for your own career, I'm begging you, learn this stuff, get up to date on these models, all that kind of stuff, because this is not what you see right now is not where it's going to be in a year. And it's very possible that the tasks that you do in your job, this thing will be able to do them better than you. So what you want to do is not say, I'm going to get out of a job. What you want to do is go to your boss and be like, hey, guess what? I've figured out how to wrangle these machines and wrangle these tools. And so I'm going to up the caliber and productivity of our team. That's how you do it. Own this thing. Don't let the bull run you over. You got to get on that thing. I urge you to do that, because especially with Gemini coming up strong, these things are going to be everywhere and doing our jobs together with us, not for us. It's an exciting time.
Absolutely exciting. The last thing I want to close out on is by saying OpenAI's $6.5 billion funding round is going to close as soon as next week. This is something that they've been putting together for a while, and this is their $150 billion valuation. So once this closes, it's officially locked in. And when Sam Altman gets granted equity, That's the valuation. And so it seems like it's happening very quick. So all of that to say, exciting times in AI. A lot is happening. You have not seen the last of Sam Altman or OpenAI. We have so many new exciting things. I think next year is going to be the year after the election, of course, of AI video with OpenAI Sora coming out. A lot of exciting stuff. We'll keep you up to date on all of it. Make sure, if you haven't done it already, to take the life-changing step of getting Connor's AI course. He has an absolutely mind-blowing course that I've heard so many reviews from hundreds of people that have taken this thing about the AI frameworks that he teaches and how this essentially helps you rethink and AI and use it in ways that you have never thought of before. So this is a course that I recommend to everyone. Super fun. Make sure to go check it out. The link is in the description to Connor's AI course. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and we will catch you next time.